All right, this is video number 2 that goes with lesson 1.7, measuring variability. This is the back side of the notes. So quick notes, the learning targets that we should have learned are the first one, measure of variability. You have learning target 1 is to be able to find the range, which is the minimum, or sorry, the maximum minus the minimum. Learning target number 2 was the standard deviation, which I'm going to go over a little bit more of that in a minute. So a reminder that this is the standard deviation of a sample. That's why it's n minus 1 and not of a population, which is just n. Okay. When you are writing the standard deviation, once you get that number, you can basically say that the typical distance from the mean is that value. That's what it actually means. Okay. Learning target number 3 was be able to identify the IQR, which is the interquartile range. To be able to find that, you find Q3, which is the upper quartile, Q1, which is the lower quartile, which have to do with median. So find the median of the lower half, the median of the upper half, and then you're going to subtract those to get the IQR. To be able to put that in terms of interpreting it, says the middle half of the data has a range of this. So whatever number you would get here, you just fill in the blank right there. Okay, so here we're going to go through this bottom one, and I'm going to hopefully teach you guys how to use the calculator to find the standard deviation. When I get back, we might try and do a few by hand, but for right now, it's going to be too difficult for me to be able to teach it to you by hand. But with that being said, here we go with this actual problem. It says in lesson app 1.6, we asked, have you ever noticed the bag of chips seems to contain a lot of air and not enough chips? Here, once again, are the data's of percentage of air in 14 popular brands of chips, along with the dot plot. So here they give you the data, the dot plot that goes with it, and we are going to process that information in just a minute. So here we go. The very first thing, it wants you to find the range. Remember, to find the range, you're taking max minus min, which if you look here, our max value is 59. So it's going to be 59 minus your minimum value, which would be 19. You subtract that, you get that it is 40% air. Okay, so range, max minus min. For the calculating and interpreting the standard deviation. Okay, so this is where I'm going to have you grab your calculator. Okay, I'm going to clear this out so you don't have to see all that numbers. Okay, and to be able to enter this data, you're going to go into stats, okay, and you might have to pause this to be able to get figure out where I'm going. You're going to go into edit, and we're going to enter all of our data into list number 1. So I'm going to hit 46. You do have to hit enter in between. It should go down the column. If it's not going down the column, then you're doing it wrong. 48. 19, and you're just going to keep on going. I'm going to pause the video right now and get them all entered so I don't waste time. You should do the same because you're going to have to be able to do this. Okay, so now I have all of my data listed in list 1, and it doesn't have to be in any specific order. It literally just wants you to put it underneath list 1. So to be able to calculate the standard deviation using the calculator, you're going to hit the stat key again. This is the same plot. We went to edit before to enter it. Now you're going to go over to calculate. So you want to calculate. It's a 1 variable stat. So you would hit enter. Now this is where you can enter a couple different lists. However, all of our data was in list 1. So if yours does not say list 1, you need to hit this second, and then number 1 will put in list 1. Okay. Then frequency list. This is not a frequency list, so you're just going to leave that blank, and then you're going to go on to calculate and hit enter. Okay, so this gives you everything that you need. Right here, X bar is the mean. Okay, SX is the standard deviation for a sample. Okay, theta X is standard deviation for a population, which we're not going to use very often, but SX is the one that we're going to be using. N is the number of numbers we typed in, which is 4. And those are what we need for number 2. So 10 point, let's go 2 decimal places. So 10.181 is what we'll use. Okay, so let me go back over here. And you can say that S sub x, so the standard deviation, is 10.181. And this is a percent. Okay, so percent of error. Okay, so what does this mean in terms of this problem? Hopefully I can write this out fairly nice. The percentage of air in the 14 bags of chips typically varies from the mean, which we could state what the mean is by looking at the calculator. The mean was 42.57, 42.57 by about 10.181% air. Okay, so that is just explaining what's taking place once you find the standard deviation. So basically these numbers are going to vary from that 42.5 by about 10 above and 10 below. Okay, so for number 3, it says find the interquartile range. Remember, interquartile range is I, Q, R. To be able to find this, we need to find the median, which is your Q2. That has to come first. Once you find Q2, you then can find your Q1, which is the median of the lower half, and then your Q3, which is the median of the upper half. And then we'll find the range by subtracting those, Q3 minus Q1. So the very first thing is we need to order these in order. So I'm going to start. So the first one is a 19. Then we have 28. And then 34. And I'm going to pause it while I get them in order. You should do the same. Okay, so there are 14 values. And obviously the middle of this data is going to be right in the middle right here. Okay, so when you're finding Q2, you're going to add those two together and then divide by 2. To be able to find the IQR, you just need to know that location, but just out of practice, it would be 45 plus 46 divided by 2 would be 45 and a half. Now, we're not going to do anything with that, but you can use it later on. Now, when the data split in half, you are going to find the median of the lower half. The median of the lower half includes this value here, okay? And then you're going to find the median of the upper half. So that 46 goes with the upper half and 45 goes with the lower half. Okay, so to find Q1 is over here. So you're just going to cross these off like we've done in the past. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So 39 is your Q1. So Q1 equals 39. Okay, same thing with the upper half. We're going to 46, 40, so on. Ooh, what did I just do? Did I miss a number? I must have missed a number. 40. Ooh, I missed 47. So there is a 47 in here. Sorry. So that crosses off the 50, and right here is your Q3. So Q3 is 49, and then to find the IQR, you're taking Q3 minus Q1. So the IQR is 49 minus 39. So the IQR is 10. Okay, and that's 10% of error. So you can explain that in terms of the problem. I'm running out of room, so let me see if I can move this down a little bit to be able to explain it. Okay, so to be able to explain number 3, we're just going to write it down here. So you can say the range of the middle half of percent error values for these bags. Bags of chips is 10% error. Okay, so you're just explaining this is the middle half, so it's taking the very middle half chunk, subtracting it to find that range is 10% error. So the range of the middle half of percentage error values for these bags of chips is 10%. Okay, so what they want you to do for this last one is instead of using 13 bags or 14 bags, they want you to use 13 bags. So they want you to take away that 9% or that 19%. So you would take that away and then calculate everything that we just did. So if you do that, I would grab your graphing calculator. I'm going to see if I can just delete that one. We'll see. So I'm going to edit the list and I'm going to go to 19. I'm going to see if I can delete that, which I just did. And then you're going to hit stat again, go over to calculate, and you want one variable. And then now it's recalculating everything in terms of the new standard deviation. So you have your new mean here, which you can write down. If you compare the means, the mean is more. The mean is more. Okay. The standard deviation is less because you're taking out that kind of like an outlier. So the standard deviation went from 10 to 7.9, and then you can look at the IQR by finding all of your Q1 and your Q3 value. I'm going to do that, and then I'll bring it back up on here for you. Okay, so from the calculator, I got the new standard deviation is 7.9. I got the range. I just figured it out. I took 59 minus the new 28 because we're taking this data set out, which is 31. And then I did want to show you guys how to find the IQR because your data set has now changed. So I believe you now have a center. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think this is going to be your 7. No. I think the 46 is going to be our center now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is your Q2. Okay. When you have a split center, you do not use it in the lower half or the upper half. So now you're just looking at these numbers over here to find your Q1. So then you're going to cross them out. 1, 2, 1, 2. It now splits between these two. So you would add them together, divide. So your Q1 should be 30. Give me a second. 40. Should be 40. 40. Okay, so I did the same thing with the upper half. I'm running out of time. I only got 30 more seconds. So you add the two together, divide. So your Q3 should be 49.5 or 0.5. That would probably be better. And then you're going to just subtract them to find the IQR. So IQR equals 49.5 minus 40, which is 9.5. So that also goes down. That's your IQR. You can then use those